today by an old familiar face, XRL Azda. Azda, it's nice to have you back in the booth today. I will say this, I hope you're not too rusty when it comes to your broadcasting skills.
No, I'm not. I should be pretty good, but it is exciting to be back in the booth here as we get ready to go, and yeah, it's going to be quite an interesting race, I'd say.
Indeed, 17 drivers going into this round. Might have another person show up in the middle of qualifying, but I'm not going to put any money on that happening. So 2 drivers will get knocked into the drop zone right away. But before we get too far into qualifying, I also want to go ahead and look at the championship standings as they are right now before we get too far into the race. Yep. So, last event, we saw XRL Gusty come home 6th, Chubby Spark come home 9th, and Stone Shuffle come home 2nd. All that, coupled with a disqualification by V8 Irons, has changed the championship battle a little bit farther. So as it stands right now, at the top of the sheets, XRL Gusty leads the points with 163. Chubby Spark has dropped out to 146 points. Stone Shuffle continues to close rapidly on his 2 rivals. He is at 142 points. V8 Irons has 85 points. Schumacher SF7 has 81. XRL Fiend has 77. XRL Snake has 55. Collie Boy has 51. Exits the Spot has 49. Ocean Lion has 43. 11th is XRL Flavor with 37. Ross G2288 is 12th with 32 points. Boothby116 is 13th with 28 points. There's a tie for 14th between Dave Ewart and Fratters. They both have 25 points. Jay Elbin has 22 points. 21 points for Wild Nissan GTR. 12 for XRL Pingu. Plastic Love has earned 4 points. Constant Jet still has yet to earn any points this season. When it comes to the Manufacturers Championship from the bottom to the top, the AlphaTauri team has 58 points. Alpine has 77. Williams has 116. Alfa Romeo has 121, which brings them into a direct tie with Haas. 5th is McLaren with 147. Red Bull is 4th with 167. Mercedes has 188. Aston Martin has got 200 exactly. Scuderia Ferrari is sitting at the top with 233 points as we now look at the first cars to come out onto the circuit here.
Yeah, and it seems like Collie Boy and Plastic Love have collie bands, actually. So everyone in the session, if they actually keep it on track, will go through to Q2.
And one thing that does mean is that you could go ahead and elect to run a lap on something like the mediums or hard tire compounds, and it really doesn't matter as long as you don't wreck the car. So Q1 basically becomes a glorified practice session for most of these drivers now.
Yeah, I think what these guys will do is they'll just throw on one set, no point using multiple. Just go out there, do a lap, maybe come in, maybe do a couple more laps, put a couple more litres of fuel in, try and gauge tyre wear, etc., stuff like that. That's basically what Q1 is. If you obviously have the pace to get through, it's just not a mess around, but you know what I mean. Like it's not like Q3 where it's really, really serious, but it's not serious. So.
Yep, because as we now know, that Plastic Love and Collie Boy both suffering qualifying bans. They will not be able to start any higher than 16th or 17th on the grid. So one thing I do think that could make things a little interesting, if someone goes ahead and elects to use up a set of hard or medium tires now, they could have more soft tire compounds for the race itself.
Yeah, that's obviously providing that you do want to start on these soft tire compounds. But it does seem like right now everyone is on the softs. No one has elected the medium so far. And we're just waiting for Lucky Doe to come around the final corner to start his hot lap as he was weaving his tyres for the whole outlap.
Alright, now we see the AlphaTauri taking off. AlphaTauri has been, a car that you've become a little bit familiar with, Azda. Yesterday in the XRL race, you ended up coming home with a top 3 finish, fighting for the win on merit pretty much all day long in that thing. So now I have to turn the question to you. If you're in Lucky Doe's position or Flavor's position, what is your strategy for the race? You don't have to worry about Q1, obviously, but your plan for the race itself.
Well, obviously, XRL is realistic cars. These are equal, so it doesn't really matter what car you are in, but the AlphaTauri...
I know, but how else was I going to segue into you?
Yeah,
okay?
I know. But, you know, going into the race, I'd say, obviously, I don't have the best of starts, because this game still can't sort out wheel glitches somehow. But that's the story, that's the time for it, that's a story that I don't want to go into. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll hand back on lap 1, turn 1. Because obviously you're going up, literally up to turn 1, and you are going from a corner that looks like you can fit 4, 5 or 6 cars, goes down to only 2 car wide. So, you know, I'll keep that in mind going into turn 1, so I wouldn't really, you know, place my car where I'd be in a position where if we do go 3 wide into the actual turning, that I'm going to get spun off or hit or something like that, because obviously I don't want to risk the car in the first lap, because you got like, what, 28 laps or something like that to go. So yeah, and then just nurse the car until you pit for whatever tyres you're going to go on, and then just on the second stint, or if you're doing a 2-stop, the third stint, go quite aggressive and see how many places you can make up. But the main thing yesterday, 8 people finished out of 18 drivers, so the main thing was to finish, and that's my main advice, really.
Oh, and Constant Jet's had an instant. Constant, sorry to cut you off there, but Constant Jet has had an instant there in the S's. The car still seems to be in one piece, so it's not gone totally bad for him. But this is not good. There is some significant front wing damage on that car.
Yeah, he'd have to pit for that. You can't go on. He's lost his right end plate. So, yeah, he's going to have to pit for that and get a new wing. And also deposit a check from the bank. Yeah, not a good start from Constant there, but I hope to see him set a competitive lap time. Fiend is currently on the top with a 33.029. Now, interesting thing about this is that we were seeing these type of times in XRL realistic tier. Now, I know it's Q1 and people aren't really pushing as hard as they would in Q3, but it's quite interesting that X3 can only really, like, X3 and XRL are actually quite similar in pace, so yeah.
Alright, well, what we're going to do here is we'll see Pingu pull aside for a moment. We're going to go silent in the broadcast booth. I'm right on board with a full lap with one of your championship contenders, Stone Shuffle, around here at Circuit of the Americas, so you really get a feel what it's like to drive one of these cars around here. That lap by Stone Shuffle was good enough for 5th, 134.291. We missed it, but we no longer only have 17 drivers here. We now have 18 drivers. Oh, and Plastic Love! Something has happened to Exits the Spot. Not Plastic Love, I'm sorry, but Exits the Spot. Something has happened to... He's not on track. It looks like he's retired in the pits.
Yeah. I mean, that ain't a bad decision. That ain't a bad decision. Starting at the back isn't the worst here. Obviously, you've got your work cut out, but there's bound to be lap on incidents.
Well, I was about to say we have 18 cars now instead of 17, so it looked like we were going to have a shootout, but now with Exits the Spot retiring, I take that back. We're back to a scenario where everyone just has to bank a lap and they're good.
Yeah. Excuse me. He didn't set a time, so that's going to put him further back than he would have wanted anyway. So yeah, it's I have no idea why he would do that, but yeah, it's quite weird. As Stone Shuffle is actually 5/10 up on this time, looking like a very neat lap. I've been riding on board with him. He's got all the little corners hooked up. And we actually have a yellow flag through the S's.
It looks like it may be the Alpine, the Williams of Ocean Lion, who's skidded off track for a bit. He's recovered the car, didn't lose too much of anything except for time, but he's already set a lap, 134.951, so he's good. Stone Shuffle has improved up to 4th now, 133.823. At the top, it's Fiend, but he's pulled out. Oh, and now V8 Irons is at the top with a 132.813.
Yeah, that's a very good lap time there. From V8 Irons, probably pushing quite hard. He's on 3 laps on those tyres, so it took him quite a while to get to that 132, but he's done it, and yeah, he's just got to now bring it back into the pits and retire. We've got Stone Shuffle, obviously, he's just done another lap. We've got Ocean Lion, he's 10 seconds down. XRL Pengu, he's an outlap trying to improve on his 35.9. Currently the slowest. Well, 2 Hasses are the slowest. Gabellin than Pengu.
Davey Wart coming down into the 16, 17, 18 complex now, so he can set his lap. He'll be the 12th driver to set a lap in the session. After that, will just be up to IAKBI, Constant Jet, and Mars Bar to set their laps. Mars Bar is in the middle of one right now, coming out of turn 1. Constant Jet has brought it back into the pits. He was on an outlap, but he's brought it back into the pits. I'm assuming he's repairing damage or something, and IAKBI has not yet left pit road.
So, the only...
Mars Bar's invalidated.
Invalidated, yeah. V8 Irons in a cooldown lap. Stone Shuffle is going again. And we have...
the fuel light's flashing.
Dave Ewart's gone in the S's. He's got a full wing, but he's right in the middle of the track, and Stone Shuffle's coming up behind him. Is he going to get out of the way? He is. Yep.
I don't think Stone Shuffle's going to go for another flyer, though, because it said that his fuel light was flashing going into 1. Dave's already set a time, 136.113. Jay Elbin has actually gone out. He wants to go faster. He's not happy with the 145. He wants to give a good showcase of what his actual pace is, apparently.
Davey, what goes again? His flat tires obviously proving very difficult for him. As I think that is, yeah, Jabellin that has just gone past. Oh no, hasn't gone past. He's going to go past. There we go. And yeah, so I know quite a few people in here, so we should have some good battles, I think.
And now we're seeing the Mercedes of Stone Shuffle coming into the pits now. No, I'm sorry, Stone Shuffle's still out on track. I'm sorry, that's his teammate Ross. Ross is coming to the pits. Stone Shuffle is still in Sector 3, not quite there, but he'll be coming in shortly. So track's going to empty out real quickly here. IAKBI still has yet to make an attempt to come out onto the racetrack. Constant Jet is on another outlap, and Mars Bar is going for another shot, but Mars Bar, he's put 3 laps on this set of tires. Opens up the DRS and lays into the ERS going down the back straightaway. 197 highest speed, according to our data. Again, for IAKB, Constant Jet, and Mars Bar, they only have put a massive time up. Just a time in the 2-minute range would get them into the next round.
Yeah, what I do, obviously, now that I know that I'm gonna, if I was gonna go through, no matter what lap time I put, I'll just do a little bit of a bank. I wouldn't even push because it's only Q1. It's not like you're fighting for the pole position. As Mars Bar finally sets have had a lap time of a 1:33.699. So good luck from him there, and yeah, we should see this quali, even though it's Q1, is quite tight. So yeah, well, on the front runners anyway.
IAKB has finally come out to the circuit and is beginning his outlap. Constant Jet is in the middle of a lap right now. JL been up by 2.5 seconds at the end of Sector 2. So he needs to just not make a mistake in the last 6 corners, and he will have improved on his time. But I don't know, he's now gone through 2 sets of soft tires. I wouldn't feel super happy about that. I would have just stuck with the 145, cope, sieve, dilate, whatever they say about it, and just deal with it. Alright, J. Albin comes across the line with a 1:33.630. That's the 4th fastest time we've seen out of anybody thus far. So the focus now goes to Constant Jet and IAKBI. Behind Constant Jet on track is Mars Bar, but I don't think Mars is on a flyer right now. Or maybe I'm wrong, maybe he is. No, Mars Bar is on another flyer, I think. That's why he's caught right up to Constant Jet. It's been a very rough season for Constant Jet, where over a dozen races into the season, he has not been able to earn a single point all year this year. It's been rough for him, to say the least. And his teammate Fiend has had a very rough stretch of races as well, as Jet finally sets a time 1:37.387. Mars Bar was not able to improve on that prior time. But I really do hope we get to see things turn around for Constant Jet. I am never of the mindset that points should be given away like candy, but Jet's been showing up to almost every single race this season. He's put in the work, he's put in the effort, has just not been able to wrap it up at race end. I really would like to see things turn around for him and see him at least come home with a 10th place finish. Alright, a little bit less than 2 minutes left in the session. IAKB is... Oh, and Mars Bar is going to pull off circuit. He's almost out of fuel. He got out of the way so he wasn't in the way of Constant Jet. There's another Mercedes on track. Is that Mercedes? Yeah, that's Ross.
Mercedes.
Ross, for whatever reason, has gone back out onto the circuit for another lap. And we're now seeing more movement in the pit lane. That's a Haas that just came in.
Yeah, Jabeland.
All right, here comes IAKBI into the last corner now. Assuming he doesn't cut the final corner too harshly, it'll be a nice legal lap, and he will be in. And there we are, 1:39.602. And for all intents and purposes, Q1 is over, although it should be noted that Constant Jet is still out on track, although he's on a cooldown lap, will likely be coming into the pits. And then there's also Ross, who has come out onto the circuit for whatever reason, to go again on a new set of tires, as far as I can tell also. Well, this is it, because everyone except for Ross and IAKB are in pit lane now, and IAKB is more than likely on a cooldown lap at this point. I'm not really 100% sure what the strategy was for Ross to go out for another set of laps, as Q1's coming to a close. Yep. Time is over now for the first round of qualifying. So for Plastic Love, exits the spot, and Collie Boy serving I'm guessing all of them are serving qualifying bans, and that's probably why X didn't even attempt a lap. But qualifying bans mean that they will be starting outside the top 15. They will not get a chance in Q2 whatsoever. Ross is actually up by 19 thousandths at the end of Sector 2. Now that kind of improvement wouldn't even really move him up the grid very much, but...
No, he needs, what, like,
like half a second almost.
Yeah, half a second, yeah. So, for us, there's no point. I'd just bring it into the pits, to be honest. And he's not going to. He's going to complete the lap.
He's committing.
Yep.
Yep, he's committing.
And he moves up one position.
But again, it's kind of a silly thing to go and burn up another set of tires for.
Exactly, yeah.
The times that you set in Q1 don't have any impact on Q2 except for getting you in. And Ross was easily fast enough to do that, but...
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to go back out and do another lap and try and improve, I'd do it on the first set of tyres. I wouldn't burn up another one, as you said, but it is what it is. So, V Irons on top of Q1 with a 32.8 outstanding lap there. 2 tenths clear of second place, which is Fiend. And then rounding the top 3 is Chubby in the Ferrari. Only 1 tenth behind Fiend, so we could see a good battle between the Alpine and the Ferrari today. But it's only Q1, I'm not getting ahead of myself.
J. Albin, Mars Bar, Stone Shuffle, Lucky Do, Ross G2288, Boothy, Ocean Lion, Flavor, Pingu, Davey Wart, Jet, and IAKBI. They will be rounding out the drivers that make it into the next round of qualifying.
Excuse me. Alright, here we go. Alright, so heading into Q2 here. It looks very sunny. Looks like we have a little bit of cloud, so track temperature shouldn't be affected too much. And this is where strategy comes into play. So we'll see drivers going. We could potentially see drivers, going on the medium tire compound in the start of Q2, but then switching to the softs because they feel like they are not going to go through on the mediums. Right now we have 3 people on the mediums, and yeah, it seems like soft domination.
Well, I don't really have any problem with soft domination. It's a relatively recurring thing here at COTA. Yesterday, Q2, by the end, everybody was setting laps on the soft tires. No one liked the pace lack that you have on medium compounds around here. We see 4 people, IAKB and Mars Bar in the McLarens, along with Ross G22 and the Merc and Lucky Do in the AlphaTauri. They are all on mediums, and now Ocean Lion has joined them on the mediums. But I imagine they're probably going to swap to softs pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I wouldn't. This is the thing. So it's mediums are so slow around here. There's no point starting on them because you're just gonna get murked by the soft runners. So yeah, it's probably better to start on the softs and then do a soft medium or a soft medium soft, something that would give you a good traction away in the start and would make you relatively quick in your first stint.
One advantage that you may have to starting the race on mediums, even though you'd lose a lot of positions early on, more than likely, you would be able to stay out on track a little bit longer than everyone else. And if worst case scenario comes, and like a VSC or a full safety car comes out early on in the race, you can go ahead and jump onto softs with everybody else. It would be an easy way to cheat out and get rid of the worst set of tires early on in the race. The problem is, though, you run the risk of losing a bunch of time in the process.
And you're also risking, banking on a safety car. So you don't know when that's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to happen. With this being X3, I would expect at least one safety car. But yeah, you don't know when it's going to happen or if it's going to happen. So
is an absolutely very fair point. Pingu now crosses the line. I do want to talk something else about this is the championship fight that I want to talk about here. So, in the championship fight, it's been 3 people for the last several weeks. It's been Gusty, Chubby Spark, and Stone Shuffle. Now, obviously, you can see Stone Shuffle and Chubby are on track. Both of them are in the middle of laps right now. Gusty is not showing up for today's race. This is the #1 chance that Chubby needed and Stone Shuffle need to really close up the championship fight. Stone Shuffle has put on a lot of really great runs over the last few weeks, but he did not have a very quick start to the season. Chubby was very, very good over the first about 10 races or so, and then he's been having massive trouble finishing races ever since. He's been the fastest person on track for many of them, but he pushes too hard and keeps getting taken out, either fighting with other drivers or trying to push impossible deltas. For Stone Shuffle and Chubby, they're both around 20 points out from Gusty today. Gusty is not here. For both of them, they need to finish top 5 today, I would say, in order to have any serious chance of closing up the title fight. Marsbar to the top, 134.265, and he did that on the mediums. Now, this is going to be where things are a little bit interesting, because Chubby has a very unique and special qualifying strategy that he does. He goes out there at the very start of the qualifying session on soft tire compound. He will not touch the DRS at all the entire time, set the laps on the softs, and then he'll leave, come back, throw on a set of mediums, and go full bore on that set of mediums. He uses the soft as a banker lap and to scuff the softs up, so that way if he does have to start on the softs, they already have a little bit of a heat cycle on them. But he tries to go way faster on the mediums. It's an interesting thing. It's caught several of his championship rivals out unexpectedly before. But considering the nature of this circuit, I don't know how confident I would feel about that strat. Alright, XRL Flavor is one of the soft runners. And Fiend now goes to the top with the 133.129. Flavor, one of the soft runners, may not be a fast person in qualifying, but he's been able to score points with some moderate consistency this season. He's probably, overall, he has probably gained more positions from start of race to end on average than anyone else in the grid, as Flavor crosses along with a 34.757. I'll be interested to see what he can do here, because his ability to avoid and minimize time penalties has been his biggest beneficiary. The S's here, turn 19, 20 as well. It's all very, very easy to get excessive amounts of time penalties here. It could work very well for him. He's a very reserved driver, to say the least. So we now take a look at Boothie. Boothie is on medium tires, and there's been an instant. That's Dave Ewart, who has had a spin coming off the end of the back straightaway. He's only on his outlap right now. It's not like he's hit anything, so he should be fine. He's on the soft set of tires right now, though. Big spread in times. 133.129 at the top, 135.493 at the bottom. Now 135.622 as Ross finally crosses the line, but he did that on the medium tires. Those mediums do not seem to have any serious pace whatsoever.
I mean, Marsbar did a very good lap time.
Oh, and Ross is around.
Oh no, that's not going to be good for his mediums.
Well, he had just set a lap.
And Boogie's going to... Oh no, Boogie's letting people by, I think. But I think he did have a spin, because there's no way you go that far out.
Spin. Not good for Boothie. One of the more impressive qualifiers within X3, but has had a little bit of struggle making it all work out, and that's going to cause a block up. He came into the pits and decided not to, and the AlphaTauri, I think that was Flavor. Yeah, Flavor got a little bit screwed out there. He didn't know if Boothie was going to block him coming in or not. That's one of those things that might get talked to by the stewards post-race.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's anything that should be looked at, really. It was just Boothie trying to get out of the way for Flavor, and Flavor went into going to pits, and there's just some miscommunication between the drivers, so I don't think that will be get investigated. It's not very serious, and if he does send it in, it'll probably be dismissed by the stewards anyway. An interesting thing is that Jalebel, I can't say his name.
I just call him J Belland.
Yeah,
I know that's not how it actually is, but...
And Pengu were actually giving each other a tow. Jalebel was giving Pengu a toe, and he is on the softs, so that could be very interesting.
Little inter-team strategy going on in the Haas pit. This could make things very interesting. J. Albin behind on the slower set of tires, and he's obviously going to lose a lot of time in Sector 1 and Sector 3 in the S's, but can he make that up with a decent amount of draft going down the long back straightaway at all? I don't think so. He's not even using the ERS. Pengu is using ERS. J. Albin is not, so I think J. Albin is not even going to try this lap. He'll set a banker, but I don't think it will be a serious attempt.
Yeah, I mean, it did invert into... Well, Jabelend gave Pengu the slipstream down the home straight and then bailed out. So, and I think Boothy's gone again.
Boothy,
yeah,
Christ.
He's having a really bad time with those mediums. So I would definitely get them off and get the softs on, as we've only got 6 minutes left. Soul Truffle is retired in the pits. Fair enough, I would do the same, to be honest. One person we haven't seen, V8 Irons. He hasn't come out the pitch yet.
As it's standing right now on the timesheets, Dave Ewart is on the bubble. Dave Ewart is on the bubble with a 135.054. Chubby, Ross, J. Albin, and Boothy all are on the outside looking in. They all had medium tires equipped, or in Chubby Spark's case, he had a set of soft tires but was not pushing on them. This might not look good for your second place driver in the championship, and it doesn't look very good either for Ross, J. Albin, or Boothy because time's running out fast. It's a little bit over a minute and a half for a single lap here, so if you were to leave pit lane now, you could do it, and you would have time for 2 laps, consecutive laps, that is. I think for these people farther out, they're going to have to go ahead, get rid of the mediums, and throw softs on. I don't think there's any way around. The one driver who's actually kind of impressed me a bit, Marsbar, set a 134.088. Now, the gap between 3rd and 10th right now is about 1 second. So right now, Marsbar might be able to make it into the next round using medium tires.
Yeah, I mean, Marsbar's done an impeccable lap on those mediums, especially for X3 pace. You know, Constant Jet can't even beat that on softs, so I'm quite intrigued to see what Marsbar's pace is going to be on the softs.
He definitely took his time to get a proper lap in Q1, but he's starting to show his hand in Q2. J. Albin coming out of the final corner. He will try to improve. He jumps up to 10th. He's committing to the medium tires, 134.999. So he's in for now, and Dave Ewart is out.
Wow.
Dave Ewart, Chubby still in pit lane. Ross and Boothy are on track, and they both have soft tires on. V8 Irons also on track with soft tires.
I've just realised 10th to 3rd is a second. That is crazy. Yeah. So, you know, if you're going to try and improve your time, I would do it because, you know, there's literally a second between 7 people. So, you know, if you're maybe 8th or 9th and you're thinking, do I, you know, go back out, go out there, do it, because there's literally a second between all of you, so I'd do that straight away.
Alright, so this is where things start getting interesting. Dave Ewart, Shelby Spark both have come out onto the circuit at the exact time. Dave went ahead and equipped soft tires. Shelby is committing to his normal qualifying strategy. He has mediums on. I don't think this is going to work out for Chubby, but Dave has a serious shot of squeezing J. Albin out and getting back into the top 10.
Yeah, I'm hoping Chubby can get through. He should do, because obviously he's in the title fight contention. Stone Truffle's obviously way through, and there's no doubt about that. So, this should be a pretty good fight for Q3 when we get to it. We've got 3 minutes left still, so, and Jubelin pits, so he's right on the bubble there. Really, he's going to be seriously thinking about maybe going back out on the soft tire compounds as V8 Irons. Wow, again with a 132.8, very consistent there. So that actually drops Jubelin out, and Pengu, his teammate, is now on the bubble.
And now Flavor is at risk of potentially getting squeezed out as well. Ross is on track. He has soft tires equipped on that car. Boothie is also on circuit with his own set of soft tires. Boothie had some instance on his lap. He's trying to overcome that and put a proper lap in. 103.422 at the end of Sector 2 for Boothie. So, once again, an attempt by the Aston Martin team to try and get both of their cars in the final round of qualifying.
And now we see the Ferrari the Ferrari Chubby. He has now started his lap, and Dave behind him has started his lap as well on the softs. Another person that has just come out is AKB. I think that's how you say it. So yeah, and Ocean Line is just retired. So.
Both of the AlphaTauris are out on track, close enough that one could give a toe to the other. I'm riding on board with Shelby Spark right now. He's finally starting to lay heavy on the ERS around here, but again, he needs to improve up to at least a 134.757.
And he's
Flavor is on the bubble. Oh, well, Shelby just got put down even more because the bubble is getting harder and harder to beat. AKB is on the bubble now with a 134.752.
I don't know if Chubby has done the right thing. He's now 1.6 seconds up. He's done the purple sector 2. So maybe this is the right decision for the Ferrari driver here as he comes into the really tight and narrow. Not really narrow, but you can't really go too wide around here, around this sector. Now coming down into the final few corners here. These are very hard to not go wide on. He does it. He has a little twitch there. Now he comes out the final corner. You can't get the power down too early. Does that. Goes a little bit wide. There's a car parked. And he goes.
He's in!
Well done.
133.931 on the mediums. Really great job sandbagging there. Flavor pulled off circuit completely, let him by, but that's not going to work in Flavor's favor. There's only 26 seconds left, and this lap is invalid, so Flavor is out. AKB is on the outside looking in, but he needs to make it to the line in time, otherwise he's not going to be able to set a lap. Boothie is on the bubble right now with a 134.475. He's coming to the line. He gets one more shot at this.
Yeah, and it looks like AKB is not going to make it, so he will not go through. Flavor is invalidated. Jabellin just finishes lap, and Davey Wart's invalidated.
So it's over. Boothie's in.
Boothie's in. He doesn't even, I don't know if he knows that, I don't know if he's hearing us, but you do not have to push. You do not have to risk the car. I think he's going to push anyway to try and get a decent lap. But I do have to say,
he's up by half a second at the end of Sector 1 alone. This is the kind of Boothie qualifying run that I love this man for.
Yeah, he's done a purple Sector 1. So if you can hook it up in Sector 2, that will be a purple Sector 2. And the main time where you're going to lose everything that you've worked for is going to Sector 3. Can he maybe, I mean, I know this is only Q2, but can he maybe get a top 5? Well, we'll have to see.
Of note, as it stands right now, looking at everyone who's in, it looks like Lucky Do, Mars Bar, and Shelby, they will be starting the race on medium tires while everyone around them will be starting on a set of softs.
Boothie there had a little bit of a twitch but saved it quite nicely. I gotta remind myself that most of these people are on controller, so they will naturally be twitchy anyway. We have a yellow flag in the final few corners. I think it's just people going to the pits, that's fine. Boothie, he's gonna come around the final corner. As I said before, you can't go too wide otherwise you invalidate. Perfect, and he goes P5.
Fifth! You called it perfectly. Top 5 time out of Boothie there. 133.842.
See, I'm a superhero. You know? No, I'm just kidding. I just know a bit what Boothie can do. Obviously, I haven't raced it since this game has come out, so I only know him from 2020 page, but I've watched a few XC races, and I know that his quality is very good. So, yeah, well done to Beaver getting through, and also well done to Chubby. I just got to say, what an amazing lap on those mediums. And he's only done one lap on them as well, so they are not going to be too angry at the start, and he's going to be able to hold out for quite a while. So, GG's to Chubby.
Yeah, you make a good point. Looking at Boothie and Ross, both of them set multiple laps on their tires. So did Stone Shuffle as well. And even Mars Bar and Lucky Do, who did make it in on the mediums, they have an extra lap on it. So yeah, of everyone on the medium tires, I think Shelby's in a good position. The 10 drivers that make it in: V8 Irons with another time in the 32s with a 32.853. Then it's Fiend, Stone Shuffle, Ross, Boothie, top 5 all starting the race on softs. Then Shelby and Mars Bar starting on mediums. Then Constant Jet and Ocean Line starting on softs. Lucky Do becomes very fortunate. Lucky indeed. He will start 10th, well, in the top 10, and he will be starting the race on medium tires. It's IKBI, XRL Flavor, Pingu, and JL Bin, along with Dave Ewar, who will not advance to the next round.
Alright, so now we go to the shootout for the pole. Let's see who gets it.
I think it's pretty obvious that's going to be V8 Irons or maybe Fiend going for it. Stone Shuffle's been putting down good times, but I don't know if he's been holding back enough pace to try and snipe pole at the end here.
Alright, so no mediums here in sight, no wets, inters, hards, super softs, I don't know what else there is. Pirelli Zeros, they're using the Ferrari GT3s. I don't know, I'm just rambling on, but there are just the best and the freshest soft tyres going on for the Q3 session, as obviously it is the battle for the pole and where these drivers are going to start on the grid. Chubby is the first one out, like the last session, and I think you know him better than me because you know his strategy. So for Collie, and then it is Stone Truffle and Lucky Do, and also Mars Bar is coming out as well.
Alright, Mars Bar is going to be a really interesting one to watch because he's made it into this final round. He did it on medium tires. He had a very respectable time on the mediums. He invalidates right away in his outlap, but it doesn't matter. It's only an outlap. Mars Bar could be a sleeper fighter for a starting position on row 2 or row 3. Again, I don't think anyone's going to have anything to match the pace that Fiend or Iron have over a single lap, though.
Yeah, obviously, as you said, it is a single lap. We've got the race to go yet. But obviously this is quali and this is open lap pace, and Irons just seemed like he's dominated all 2 of our quali sessions, that we have been in. Obviously this is the final 3rd qualifying session and the one that counts the most, so we'll definitely see drivers, maybe even the Mercs, have a little bit of team play towards the end, maybe getting a bit of a tow, etc. But like I said, this is going to be the one that counts the most, and this is the one that is going to push the drivers to the limit and some over the limit as well.
Alright, the big thing to watch is going to be the first 2 cars who are going, the first 2 drivers at least in their cars, that will be attempting to set laps. Will be Stone Shuffle and Shelby, the 2 championship contenders. Lucky Dude was actually backed off quite a bit in the final sector, so he wouldn't be in their way. So there's a lot of clean track ahead for the AlphaTauri now.
Yeah, and I also wanted to point out that the Merc is actually quite close to the Ferrari, so I wouldn't be comfortable being that close for me personally, but he just set a purple sector 1, so.
Racing down to the hairpin is both Chubby Spark and Stone Shuffle. Stone seems to be a little bit faster than Chubby throughout the first half of the lap, but now they open up the power going down the back straightaway. Everyone except for Fiend and Boothie are on track right now, and as I'm saying that, Boothie is making the trek down pit lane to come out into the circuit as we speak, as is Fiend now. So in a very short period of time, we're going to have all 10 cars on track at the same moment. Purple Sector 2 for Chubby. And out of the final corner, Shelby will go ahead and set time. 1:32. That's the first driver not named Irons in the 1:32 as he's seen all day. Stone Shuffle joins him afterwards with a 32.9. Lucky Duke crosses the line with a 33.216. Mars Bar did not keep a valid time, although he had a 1:33.8 at the line, so he probably backed off a bit. He's going to go for another lap. The next driver who will cross the line will be Stone Shuffle's teammate, Ross G2288, as he's going through the last 5 corners now.
And it seems that
he invalidates in the final corner. And that compromises not just the lap he was on, but it's going to automatically compromise his next lap as well. So for Ross, now he just has to race around the track to get into the pit lane as soon as possible.
And we also see coming into sector 3, Irons.
Constant Jet's had an accident coming out of the S's and it's ripped the entire front wing off that car.
Oh no, and he hasn't even set a lap either. So he's going to have to go back into the pits and he's going to have to complete nearly a whole lap without a wing. But we see V8 Irons coming out the final corner. Is he going to challenge Chubby? He crosses the line and he does by 2/10.
Stone Shuffle has had an accident!
Oh!
One of your championship contenders has had an accident there and has destroyed the car. And that is terrible for him.
Yeah, like he's ripped the front wing off, he's ripped the front wheel off. So yeah, that is very unfortunate for Stone Shuffle there. Probably pushing just a little bit too hard there.
There's still a race to go ahead, and he could still turn things around, but it's going to be a lot harder now. Constant Jet coming around, 19. He's going to bring it into the pits to put a new front wing on. Boothie is in the middle of a lap right now. All right, coming into the party now is Stone Shuffle. Shuffle, you did good in Q1. You did good in... 1 second. Let me fix this. Let me make sure my audio is included. All right, Stone Shuffle, I'll make this real quick. But you did good in Q1, good in Q2. You put down an amazing lap here in Q3. And then the car is somehow destroyed. What happened out there?
Yeah, I just applied too much throttle. I was on the second lap with the tyres and I was just pushing it a bit too far. Spun him up, headed straight for the wall. So just trying too hard. I should have just pitted when I realised I wasn't really going to go fast at that lap and just gone for a second run on fresh tyres.
All right, so now I have to ask, you're still locked into a top 10 starting position, but do you think you can still convert this into another good point stay?
Well, if last night's 100% race is anything to go by, then penalty countback is going to be a big thing here, and that's one of my strengths. So I think some of the guys had between 20 and 30 seconds, so if I can keep it clean, then I think I'm on for a pretty good finish, yep.
All right, and you are aware that the points leader is not starting the race today, right?
Actually, I hadn't noticed that. I'd literally just dropped in after having finished work, so I see Chubby's in the race, so that's the only real one I've been paying attention to so far.
All right, well, unless Gusty all of a sudden shows up at the last minute and starts in the back of the grid, if you can bring home points today, I'll be honest, it will be a good points day for you. Hopefully you can turn it around the race itself.
Cool, thanks, man.
All right, so now we turn our focus back onto the racetrack. Ocean Lion and Fiend are both in the middle of laps right now. Fiend coming off of the back straightaway. He's out 103.024 at the end of Sector 2. A little bit ahead of him on the track is Ocean Lion in the Williams. Lion is almost out of fuel, though. And he's going to abort. He will come into the pits and abort. And Fiend's had a spin. Fiend has had a spin, and he's out of fuel in Sector 3. So for multiple drivers, they are not having any good luck here, it would appear. Mars Bar has gone up second fastest with 132.755. And Ross is back out on circuit for another outlap, as is Constant Jet. Ozda, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm here, sorry.
Okay. So 2 cars on outlaps. Boothie is still on track.
Just started a lap now.
He was not able to improve thus far, but we're in the last 3.5 minutes of this session. If you want to set another lap, you need to get out there and start doing it now. Actually, this might not be as bad for Stone Shuffle as I think. That time he set might still be good enough to keep him in the upper half of the grid despite having a trashed car.
Right, so Boovy's looking to improve on that time. We still have 4 people to set a lap. Ross is just starting his hot lap. Constant is in sector 3. Ocean Line is still in the pits, and so is Fiend. So, if they
Lucky Dew is coming out of sector 1 right now, and he's on an outlap as well.
Yeah, and also Mars Bar is just going on the back straight as well. But if okay, right, I was just gonna say if Fiend and Ocean Line want to get their laps done, they better do it now, and they just come out. So, obviously, they like listening to me.
Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't listen to a superhero?
Yeah.
I wouldn't because I'm a supervillain. Oh, Boothy!
my
Boothy!
God.
Boothy! No! Boothy! And somehow the car is still alive!
I think he'll get disqualified for that. Oh, maybe not. That pit lane. Jeez, he nearly binned it. Oh.
I don't know how in the world that didn't rip the tire off the car.
Yeah, neither did I. That was a pretty hard hit as well. Yeah, he obviously came out of... I don't know the corner numbers on this track, and it really annoys me. But he obviously came out
of 19.
Came out of 19.
The car twitched, and he tried counter steering, then over counter steered, then over counter steered, and went right into the outside wall. He's lucky he didn't hit the wall about another 2 meters down, otherwise he would have had to limp around the entire circuit with a ruined front wing.
Yeah, he's obviously either caught the high curb at turn 19, or he's gone wide, and the curves have just unsettled the rear of the car, or he's just, you know, took a really weird angle into that corner. We don't know, because obviously we don't have the onboard footage of that, but, yeah, so, it's unlucky for Boovy there, but at least he's still alive as Fiend crosses the line.
Cossin Jet's around! Oh. And Jet spins in turn 17 coming into 18. He's still in the middle of a lap. He should just go ahead and finish his lap irregardless and go immediately for another one. But that's not how Jet wanted to see that lap go.
Yeah, people have been really bad issues with stability here. Stability, sorry. So that could be a main factor for the race if you see people spinning off left, right, and center.
All right, Chubby on an outlap. Mars Bar is completing another flyer, but he invalidated his last one, so he needs to go faster. Chubby coming across the line. There's been another spin in the S's. Who is that? It's Constant Jet again, and this time there's some significant front wing damage. Also on the clock, time's up, over, plow. So for Ocean Lion and Fiend, this is their only attempt to set laps here. Lucky Dew will be the next person across the line. He is up by 3/10, but it's an invalid lap. So now the focus goes to Ross. Ross is down by 28 thousandths at the end of Sector 2. Coming to the line. He improves, but he's still only 6th right now. Now we see Ocean Lion and Fiend coming to the line. Lion, 8th fastest. Fiend to the top, 132.318. Constant Jet's invalidated his lap, so he's not going to be able to get a chance to go faster. Mars Bar is invalidated. Chubby is still on the lap. So Chubby is trying to keep a place on the front 2 rows of the grid here. This is the last driver to set a lap in the session. He played his normal game perfectly in Q2. What can he do here in Q3? Runs a little bit wide out of 19, but not too much to compromise. The fuel light's flashing. He doesn't care. He invalidates.
And that was a
and that means
that would have gotten 2nd.
So he will be sharing the 2nd row with Mars Bar, another driver who will be on the medium tire compounds at the start of this race. As Jet comes into the pits to retire the car, Stone Shuffle, despite crashing out, is still going to be starting 5th. So with that, qualifying is over. What a very interesting session that was, to say the least. And Fiend waiting until the last moment to play his hand, but 132.3, that is the fastest time by far we've seen all day today. He blows Irons out of the water by over a third of a second. And while Fiend's not been able to finish very many races over the last several weeks, I think he will be very happy knowing that he can start from pole today.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Chubby there. He literally only just went over the white line, but he was obviously pushing a little bit too hard, and that cost him P2 ultimately. So Fiend, he's got a good chance of winning this race because, yeah, starting from pole is obviously the best place to be. He's got to watch out for turn 1 though, as I'm sure a couple of people are going to send up the inside, but hopefully we get a clean getaway and it's not like Jeddah last week in real F1.
Alright, so 10 drivers make it in. For Constant Jet, a bit of positives and negatives. He's made it into Q3. He's starting 10th, but numerous incidents over his qualifying laps in Q3. Damaged front wing. He needs to be able to overcome that immediately in the race itself. Well, it's a little bit foggy and overcast here. It will be roughly a 5-minute wait until we take the green flag on circuit. This will be a very, very interesting start to the race, to say the least. So I'm not going to say it live, but apparently the situation for the end of today's real-life F1 race is even worse than anticipated. They're going to try and go to, like, the same guys that kicked Russia out of the Olympics over this shit. Dang. All right, we should be getting underway here in a very short period of time. All right. Hey, Ozda, real quick. Ozda? Okay, he's not here. Because we're about to get underway, preparing to take the green flag here at Circuit of the Americas. Ozda, for the start of the race, would you be willing to focus on the back of the grid and cut me off if anything significant happens?
I want to be at the front. That's kidding. Yeah, sure.
I mean, if you really want to be at the front, that's fine.
No. You can be at the front. I'll be at the back.
All right.
All right, let's do this. Come on. Ah! Let's go. All right. Come on. Let's do this.
Four lights, five lights. And it's lights out and away we go here at Circuit of the Americas. And right off the bat, Fiend gets a wonderful start. The front four all fall in line.
Oh,
the Ferrari tries to make something happen, and Stone Shuffle goes around. And Stone Shuffle has had an instant at the start of the race in front of the entire grid. He is backwards on the track. And one of your championship contenders goes from starting in row 3 to being dead last.
Yeah, and also Curly Boy actually hit multiple people that obviously went into each other, so we could see people pitting the new wings, etc. But that
AKB is just spun in the S's now.
Oh, this is not good. Track temperature is a little bit
Lion
down.
now. Ocean Lion just nearly spun coming out of the S's as well as he's hemorrhaging positions and will drop out. There's a Red Bull that's sideways really hard into the wall. That's Love. Love with a massive accident on the first lap.
Yeah, and that could be a safety car potentially. Probably not now as everyone's passed it, but this has been a crazy first lap, and we've still got Sector 3 to go.
Ooh, contact between Lucky Dew and Spark for the third position. Lucky made a very daring overtake. Shelby defended. They made a little bit of contact, but the Ferrari holds on to third for the moment. As Mars Bar comes around the outside, the Ferrari backs off. He'll give the position back to the AlphaTauri, but in position will lose 2, maybe even 3 spots.
And also
as Exits the Spot has had something happen as well. He is now hemorrhaging spots as well. Falls to 13th position.
Yeah, he seems to be going quite slow. I have no idea why. He's not got wing damage or anything like that. But yeah, this has not been the greatest of starts, I'd have to say, in terms of cleanness and stuff like that. But it is what it is.
Indeed, we're going to try real quickly to get Plastic Love into the party, hear what happened, because that was a massive shunt that he took there. Boothie gets over Pingu farther back, and Flavor has gotten by Exits the Spot as Spot and Stone Shuffle both have to come into the pits to repair damage. Coming in the party right now is Plastic Love. Love, go ahead, make sure your audio is included. That was a massive shunt there in Sector 2. What happened?
Coming down to the hairpin, we were going 3 wide. Cars were just swerving a little bit, and to avoid contact, I had to swerve out, and I just unfortunately lost it, hit the wall.
It was a horrible, horrible hit there. It's a shame to see you out so early. Do you think you can recover maybe next week at Mexico?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty good at Mexico, so I'm looking for good results there.
All right, well, it's a shame that we have to talk to you so early in today's race. I'm sorry, mate.
No worries.
All right, well, we turn our focus back to the racetrack. One driver who did have a really good start, JL Ben, didn't even make it into Q3, but he's already up into 8th position, and he's done that on the hard tire compounds, so he's not planning to stop for a long time today by the looks of it.
And it seems like Chubby's actually getting very close to Mars Bar here, so they're both on the medium tires, so it's going to be level pegging as tire is concerned, but obviously Chubby does have the slipstream, and we have fights all across the board really, so this is going to be a very interesting race. We even have a fight with 2 teammates, Dave Ewart and Gully Boy.
Indeed, little teammate war. Yesterday, the teammate war is between the Williams cars. Now it seems to be between the Alfa Romeo's machines as Ocean Lion overtakes Pingu going down straight. And Shelby just got by Mars Bar in the S's.
Wow.
So I missed it, but Mars Bar made a mistake and it let the Ferrari get ahead. The thing is, this works out in Mars Bar's favor now because going down the back straightaway, the McLaren will have DRS on the Ferrari.
Yeah, that was a pretty, I wouldn't say stupid move, but he didn't obviously think about it. So now Mazda's having a fly past Chubby as he has DRS and ERS. Actually, maybe not.
He's in position to make a nice, huge lunge if he so chooses. And he actually chooses not to, wisely enough, avoids contact. Good job on saving your wing. That was going, if he was going to commit to it, that would have been a very high-risk move, to say the least. Jay Elbin has caught constant jet on Mare, and again, Jay Elbin is on hard tires. Everyone said the mediums were bad and the hards were even worse, and yet Jay Elbin is actually trying to fight his way up through the grid. I'm honestly more than a little bit impressed.
Yeah, the hards here aren't very stable, let's say. So, Jubelin actually catching up to people is absolutely insane, and kudos to him, because I'm surprised he's completed a lap on them, to be honest, no wonder. Oh, and actually constant jet pits, so he's also got wind damage of some sort, or just wants to get those soft tyres off. And we have a teammate battle,
wind damage, we can't see it.
Turn one. I thought Culver was going to send it on debut out, but...
No, but one man who might send it might be Boothie,
Yeah.
because Boothie is in position to gain spots. Lucky Dude now gets by Mars Bar in the S's, so Mars Bar's McLaren is not very well set up right now. Colin Boy runs off circuit in the S's. That lets Boothie squeeze by now. Oh, and there's been an incident in Sector 1, and that's Constant Jet. No, it's exits the spot. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and his entire front wings... His entire front wing completely ripped off, and he'll have to circle the entire track without it. This will likely trap him a lap down. Irons has fallen to more than a second out from Fiend at this point in the race. The real fight seemed to be going on in spots behind. Boothie is now gotten by Dave Ewart with a little bit of DRS assist now. Pingu and AKB in a fight of their own, running into the 16, 17, 18 complex. Do they make contact? They will make a little bit of contact, but they're still in it. I'm sorry, that's not 16, 17, 18 complex. I'm sorry, that was 12, 13, 14. But still, they're still side by side. They're still side by side. And finally, AKB will take the position over the Haas.
And we also
as
have
now
a fight
Collie Boy
brewing.
fights back against Dave.
We also have a fight brewing for P3. Chubby, Lucky Doe, and Marsbar. Marsbar falling off a bit, as you said, but Lucky Doe staying in the 1 second DRS detection of Chubby. But Chubby, actually no, both of them are running low on ERS. The person that isn't is Marsbar, so Marsbar could be regenerating.
Ooh, Shelby, big step out!
Oh, and they got too wide. He's going to come out on top. It's going to be Chubby. Oh no,
it's going to be Marsbar!
Marsbar, round the outside. He's going to get DRS as well.
There's 3 wide coming out of the hairpin, and there's contact!
Yeah, and... oh, this isn't going to go well, is it?
Lucky breezes by both of them, and Marsbar will get by Shelby. So now Shelby, with a little bit of a hiccup there in the S's, falls to 5th. Marsbar wants to make a dive on Lucky, can't make it stick. He has to defend against Shelby, and now Ross is up into play. And all 3 of these men, Lucky, Marsbar, and Shelby, they are all on medium tires, and they all seem to be struggling a bit, getting and keeping proper grip through the S's with them. Bless you.
Sorry. Right. So, Lucky Doe now in 3rd place. The big loser of that was Chubby. And Ross.
Oh, Ross!
Ross goes into... I don't think he went into the wall, but he went really sideways. Still has DRS though, so can recover it a little bit. But, yeah, I think these guys now need to just settle down. And Chubby actually has 40% ERS. So we could see a good late charge from him. And Lucky Doe only has 8 going through the S's. So yeah, he's going to have to do a lot of defending to do and holding the ERS for it. So yeah, and this is just really bringing V8 Irons and Fiend out of the equation. They are just flying away. And I think what I'll do is I'll, you know, try and get into a rhythm where I'm not fighting too much and I can try and catch it to the front too, but obviously you can't if you're in a three-way battle.
Shelby and Marsbar both have DRS going down the straight. Marsbar is going to make a lunge on Lucky Doo. Where does he go? He chooses the outside line, neck and neck between a Mercedes and Honda-powered cars, and coming through the apex, it will still be Lucky Doo.
And actually, no, Marsbar gets through. Marsbar went through. That was a great move there. That Marsbar is going to be under threat from Chubby. We know Chubby has been quick quite for the whole weekend. Marsbar does go a bit wide there, but we see Chubby, and he's going to be a good factor for obviously capitalising on this battle as well. And now obviously Lucky Doe has DRS on the main straight, pit straight.
Ross has fallen 2 seconds off of this fight, so whatever happened to him that caused him to twitch the prior lap has gotten worse. Here we are,
go
3 wide for third position. This could only go badly. There's contact made. And more contact.
Yeah. And Chubby nearly goes off there, keeps the car, and they're going to go 2 wide into the S's. This isn't going to go very well. One of them is going to have to back out, and it is going to be Chubby.
And that's perfect for Marsbar. He gets a chance to open up a gap on them, but he's not capitalized on it well enough. Lucky is already back within 6/10 of the McLaren. And Marsbar has a time penalty, as does Shelby. Lucky does not have a time penalty thus far in the race. As they round the hairpin, Lucky is going to pop open the DRS going down the back straightaway. He's in the perfect position to make a lunge. To the inside. And this time, Lucky easily completes the overtake on Marsbar. Marsbar looks on the outside to get back by. There's been an instant. That's an Alpine there, and that is Constant Jet. Marsbar back ahead of Lucky Doo. Lucky Doo does the crossover out of 15. Now through 16, 17, and 18. Between the two of them, Marsbar has the positions, trying to cut the aerodynamics off of the front of Lucky Doo by putting his car in front of Lucky's. Ross is pitting out of 6th position. Lucky with a big dive to the inside. Marsbar reacted and pushed him way to the inside. They're side by side for that position. It's still Marsbar.
Yeah, this is a very intense battle here, and still Chubby not using all of his ERS, and Lucky Doe is basically on 0. And
contact!
How's that ball wing damage to Lucky Doe? He looks like he is understeering into the corner. No, he doesn't have damage, but that could play a massive mental game.
But we know for a fact that Marsbar is very weak in the S's, and now we also know that Lucky Doo isn't afraid to make a charge in those S's. Now they're going down the back straightaway once more. All 3 of these cars you can throw a blanket over them. Shelby has a huge run on Lucky Doo. Lucky has a run on Marsbar. There's contact.
Yeah. Oh no.
No, and Mars and Shelby both go sideways. They're able to save it, but Marsbar spears to the side of the Ferrari afterwards.
There's no way you can brake and lose traction like that. There's got to be something wrong with his wheel or something like that. And he's actually letting Marsbar through. That's great sportsmanship there.
Yeah, but he can't afford to keep letting things like that happen, because if they do, they're not going to be able to capitalize. Your 2 leaders, Fiend and Irons, are getting off of the soft tire compounds. This will promote Lucky into the race lead.
Yeah, but obviously, as Fiend and Irons had such a good gap that they're not going to be in the lead for much longer, because obviously they're going to have to pit, and Fiend and Irons already have, but they're going to actually come out in traffic, so.
Jay Elbin in a very interesting position on that hard set of tires. He has now worked his way up into the 4th position. Oh, Mars bars around all on his own, and he's into the inside wall.
Oh, and he nearly collects V8 irons as well.
I think, yes, there is damage to that McLaren. So Marsbar, who had been fighting for podium positions pretty much since the start of this race, now with damage and is going to hemorrhage spots and drop out of the top 10 positions. This promotes Chubby back into 2nd place. Fiend on the outside of Boothie. Fiend's on fresh mediums. Boothie is on worn sauce. So this battle should go in Fiend's favor without too much of an issue. But Boothie is putting up a respectable fight. Fiend doesn't care. He'll take the long way around if he needs to as they dive into 14. Now coming out of 15.
Yeah.
Fiend still looking on the outside, but all this fight with Boothie is bringing V8 Irons into play. Irons very happy that his teammate's playing interference right now.
Yeah, I think Fiend needs to get past Boothie as soon as possible. And Boothie pits, that's going to make light work easy. That's going to make it easy for Fiend, and he's got DRS as well. But so has V8 Irons, so who's going to have the more straight line speed? I know that Fiend is using ERS, so it's going to be V8 Irons that is going to stay behind Fiend. But now Fiend is in front of Javelin. Javelin, as you said, is on the hard, so this is going to be very, very interesting.
This will really hold Fiend up. Irons wisely backs out and backpedals a bit so as not to run back into them. It doesn't matter. He backpedaled and within 3 corners was right back up to them. Jay Elbin's pace is so far off of what the Alpine and the Aston Martin on fresh mediums can do. This will become the battle for the race lead once the 3 drivers ahead of Fiend and Irons pit. Both of them have DRS going down the straightaway. They should both be able to clear Jay Elbin without too much of an issue. 1 second, please.
Alright, so V8 Irons now is right on the back of Fiend. Fiend actually had a gap before they pitted and they were in P1 and P2, but obviously they pitted into traffic and it's not really helped them that much. Now, I feel like Lucky Doe and Chubby are going to pit maybe in the next 4 or 5 laps. And we have an incident and it is Ross. Ross has gone around in sector 3. That's very unfortunate for him, and he drops down to the 10th position. Very unfortunate.
I apologize. That was a bad spam call I had to deal with.
Yeah, no worries, man. So V8 Irons and Fiend are still very close together. Fiend actually using all of his ERS. He's only got 11% left, and you can actually tell when you're actually racing the person ahead if they've got less than 20% of ERS. Because if we got on board with V8 Irons, you can actually see the light flashing red. That means that the battery is trying to recharge, and it actually means that the battery is under 20%. So that will give V8 Irons, if he knows that information, good information for when he goes onto the straight, and the Fiend is going to have basically no ERS to defend when he tries to go for the move. Now he's going to go for the move. He's going to pull out to the inside, and he's going to make a super easy move there. Fiend can do nothing about it as he's not got DRS and he's got no ERS whatsoever. Very fortunate for Fiend, but it was his own doing, as he should really be saving ERS. Now he can, as he's now knows that he's not net P1 anymore, he's net P2, and he's got DRS to help him drag along. We've also got Chubby and Lucky Doe in front of him as well. So.
Yeah, they're both closing on Shelby at a pretty steady pace, and Shelby himself is also making up the gap that opened up between himself and Lucky Doe when Shelby and Marsbar had that synchronized spin. Lucky is pitting. Shelby is going to stay out for a little bit longer on this set of tires. So with the way this is going, Irons is going to catch Shelby in the S's, and that will give Fiend one more shot at this. Fiend just needs to be careful not to make any mistakes here through the S's. Irons closing in rapidly on the Ferrari. And Fiend's not able to keep up in the S's. There's too much aerodynamic wake. There's been a Haas that's had an issue. That's Ross. Ross has just had an accident.
Oh,
Ross is out.
DNF. This is gonna bring. He is gonna bring out a safety car. This is change everything. Chubby
And
gets
this
a
is
cheap
perfect
stop.
for Chubby.
Yeah, he gets a cheap stop. And the person that is gonna be kicking themselves is Lucky though. If he waited one more lap, he would have been able to, you know, just pit under the safety car, but he didn't, and unfortunately, that is the. I don't know what else, I can't think of the quote, but it's very unfortunate for Lucky though, and yeah, that means your Belen can maybe go off those hards and go into the mediums or maybe even the softs. The softs can go this length, as I'm be thinking the safety car will be out for at least a couple laps, so yeah, we could see a lot of people pitting here for softs, maybe even mediums.
Irons, Fiend are staying out. JL he's been on hards all day long, and he's going to elect to stay out on them. The strategy's worked for him thus far. Why change something that's working? Collie Boy, is he going to come in? He is on worn mediums. He is going to elect to come in and put on a different set of tires. Lucky Do on hards that will last him to the end of this race. Collie Boy now has to do a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car, so it goes from bad to worse for him. Boothie comes in the pits. There must have been damage or something that happened to him. Ocean Lion, will he pit? Yes, Ocean Lion will pit as well. I imagine we'll see Flavor pitting. Flavor's going to get off the mediums that he's been on since the start of this race. Pingu's going to come in. Stone Shuffle is going to come in. AKB is going to stay out on fresh hards. Mars Bar is going to come. Mars Bar hits the pit lane barrier coming into the pit lane, and it rips the entire front wing off in the process. It goes from bad to worse for Mars Bar. Dave Ewart is going to stay out. Constant Jet's going to come in, and Exits the Spot will come in as well. We're going to be under a long safety car, but Collie Boy on fresh sauce, Chubby on fresh hards, and those hards will last him to the end of this race. This is going to be very interesting, to say the least. Pingu now has a time penalty. In fact, as we look at time penalties right now, that's going to be the biggest issue. Chubby has earned 9 seconds of time penalties, more than anyone else on track. Collie Boy will have to serve a drive-through once you go green. Boothie, Dave Ewart both have 3 seconds. Ocean Lion has 6 seconds of time penalties. Pingu has 6 seconds, and Mars Bar has 3 seconds of time penalties. Collie Boy is going to be interesting to watch because if he elects to wait as long as he can to make his drive-through penalty, he's going to really play havoc for Lucky Do and Chubby.
Yeah, he also, you can't elect to do a drive-through under safety car. So he's going to have to do it when the safety car comes in, whether that will be as soon as the safety car comes in or in like 2 laps times. I think you have 3 laps to serve a drive-through, so.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone's getting gathered up relatively quickly here. We're seeing Boothie has just about caught the back of the grid, and Dave Ewart should catch him by the time he gets to turn 1.
Chubby just lagged into Collie Boy. That's not very good.
Dave Ewart's now closing in. He's back there in 9th, and he's about to catch the back of the grid. Right behind him is Ocean Lion. Flavor's another 3 seconds back as he's going to catch the back of the grid now in the S's. Now Stone Shuffle, Pingu. Stone Shuffle still out of points paying positions, but depending on how things go farther up, Stone Shuffle might be able to recover from the lap 1 incident and get back into the points. Pingu has now caught the back of the field, so now he just has to wait on Constant Jet, Exits the Spot, and Mars Bar to catch the rear of the grid. So we should be going green lap 15, so we'll be going green with 14 laps to go, basically. So about halfway through this race. Irons and Fiend on slightly more medium tires, and those mediums will last to the end of the race. And everyone behind them is on worse tire compounds or older tire compounds until you get back to about Flavor, who is outside of the top 10. So I think this is still, without a doubt, a fight between Irons and Fiend for the race win. I think the one thing that will make this really interesting, though, is Jalbin still on the same set of hards that he started this race on. He could have elected to jump in, throw on a set of mediums or a set of softs to go to the end, but he must be betting on another safety car or something coming out and working in his favor. All right, coming to the green flag now as Mars Bar is just about caught the ass into the field. There we are. Safety car officially coming in this lap. Irons, Fiend. They've started on the front row. It's been between the two of them all day long for the race win. Who's going to walk out of here with the trophy? Irons really backing the field up aggressively, going through 19, keeps the field continued back up out 20, still has the field back up. There's conflict behind. Lucky Dude is going to make a jump. Collie Boy is in the pits. And JL Bend is fighting with Lucky Dude on the inside for that position. And it's going to be JL Bend for the moment. But Lucky Dude and Shelby behind have fresher tires. Lucky on the inside, Shelby on the outside. One of them has to back out. Who's it going to be? Neither of them. No, Shelby finally backs out. Lucky just about wrecked both of them going through there. They both really want these positions. There's been an incident.
X hits the spot, has gone off. It looks like he's got over his wing, I think. Yeah, he's got over things, so it's fine. Yeah, and Chubby and Lucky Dude did make contact into the S's as no driver wanted to back out. That's fair enough. But Chubby's now just got to get to the headspace of trying to get many positions as he can. Obviously, as he's got penalties, so he needs to get away from the field pretty quickly.
Lucky Dude really playing rough with JL Bend right now, weaving all over the track, trying to find a way to get the front nose of the AlphaTauri alongside the Haas.
And this fighting, obviously, is going to let Fiend and Irons go away again. They've already got a 2-second gap, so this isn't going to be very
big
good.
accident! AKB hard into the outside wall, coming out of 19.
Uh-oh. Yeah, and he's pitting, obviously. That's not very good for the McLaren team, should I say, sorry. Oh, I'm even... Oh, he's in pits. Is he? No. That was just a yellow flag.
But now AKB exits the spot and Collie Boy all coming into the pits now at the same time, so they've all had instance there. And for Collie Boy, this means that he's going to run the risk of getting trapped the lap down. Right now, the fight continues to be between JL Ben, Lucky Dude, and Shelby Spark. Lucky and Shelby have fresher, hard tires compared to JL Ben's very worn set. Diving to the inside is Lucky Dude. Huge dive bomb, easy overtake, and Lucky Dude will take the position over the Haas. Now Shelby has DRS on both of them.
No, DRS isn't enabled just yet. Next lap, that will be enabled. So he's going to have to use Slipstream and ERS to try and get past one of them. And Lucky Dude moves under braking, and that is not allowed, I'd say. And he's being quite aggressive as well. So... Oh, and Jabellin loses a bit of traction, nearly takes out Chubby. So I think those hard tires are starting to wear a bit now.
Mars Bar trying to climb his way back up through the grid. He's already back up into 8th over Flavor and over Ocean Lion. He's now saying his sights on Boothie and Dave Ewart farther up. DRS has now been enabled, so when we get to the back straightaway, we'll see Fiend be able to start picking his fight up against Irons once more. But when it comes to time penalties, Irons does not have any time penalties. Fiend has 3 seconds, so it's not looking too good for Fiend at the moment.
And look, Chubby does get past Jabellen. Jabellen, unfortunately, are really old tyres, so can't really put up too much of a fight, and Chubby on very new tyres. So now Chubby's got to get into DRS range of Lucky Doe to continue this fight for P3. But obviously Chubby is at a disadvantage unless Lucky Doe gets a penalty, as Chubby has penalties.
Onto the back straightaway now. Chubby opened up far enough away from Jailbin that the Haas will not be able to get DRS off of him. The real fight's going to be behind. Marsbar overtakes Dave Ewart now for 7th. He's already putting his sights on Boothie in 6th. Oh, Dave Ewart's not done yet. There's contact, and they're both hard into the inside wall, and they're into the wall again. Marsbar twice into the wall,
safety car
across the track.
And that is gone into Jabellen's favour massively.
Oh, and Marsbar, the car's destroyed. He's out. And that will be a full course safety car, as IXR Marsbar had an incident with Collie Boy going down the back straightaway, and the damage to the car was enough that he was not able to properly keep the car straight, hit the wall a second time, barely completed the next corner, and then immediately went into a wall again, and there was no recovering for that McLaren. Everyone in the top 5 positions are pitting. Top 6th place, Boothie is going to stay out on his set of hard tires. Irons and Fiend have put on brand new tires. Boothie staying out. This is going to get really interesting because almost everyone in the front is going to be on worn sauce or fresh mediums.
I don't know why you'd put mediums on. I'd go with sauce. You've got 10 laps left. The people who've put mediums on are going to be idiots because your Bell End, Ocean Lion, Stone Truffle, and Constant Jet are all on softs.
They may not have any soft tires. Oh no, I know that's not true. Shelby has not used a single set of soft tires in this race. He should surely have one set of softs still available, right? How many softs are you given for a 50% race weekend? Because he's used one set in qualifying, one set in Q2, and one set in Q3. So
I think you get like 2 or 3 new sets for a race, so
yeah, I'm more than a little bit confused. And he's not the only one, because Lucky Dude is on the exact same strategy. He's only used mediums and hards as well. I'm shocked that Lucky Dude didn't elect to throw on a set of softs. Same with Fiend and Irons. There's no reason for them to have stuck with mediums. So now at the front, Boothie has moderately worn hards, and Flavor has slightly worn softs. This is going to get really weird real fast. Something else to take note of, Stone Shuffle is finally in the points paying positions again, and he has fresh sauce. So this could be turning out perfectly for Stone Shuffle.
yeah, I seriously don't know why you'd put mediums on, unless... See, Chubby hasn't, as he said, hasn't used a set of softs this race, so there's no
Neither
reason
has
why...
Lucky.
Yeah, neither has Lucky, so there's no reason why you wouldn't have any fresh, at least one fresh set of softs. So, yeah, that's just mind-boggling to me. And if Jabellen's pace is quick, I think the 4 people that are on mediums are going to get eaten alive by the softs, especially in the first couple of laps.
We know JL Ben has quite the bit of ability, because he went from outside of the top 10 into as high as 4th on hard tire compounds. He's now going to be on sauce. I think he could really play spoiler if he can make his way through the field fast enough.
Yeah, see, that's amazing. We have 10 laps to go now, so yeah, and by the time we go around again, it'll be 9. So yeah, it's going to be crazy.
As we look real quickly, when it comes to time penalties, it's still not looking good for Shelby. All these bunching up the fields has really hurt him. He has 9 seconds of time penalties. No one else has more than 6 thus far. Now, of course, with everyone really close to each other on track, that could change here and now. But one thing that Stone Shuffle said when we interviewed him after his crash in Q3 is that he felt very confident because he's good at keeping time penalties to a minimum. He's 9th right now. He might end up finishing ahead of Shelby today, just because of penalty countback.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very unfortunate because Chubby has worked so hard, and you know, he's just going to get slapped in the face because he has penalties. But he's got no one to blame for those penalties other than himself, because he's been pushing, obviously, too hard, and he's got 9 seconds as well looking like he's got 3 seconds. So, yeah, he's got a lot of work to do if he wants to get on the podium or even win.
This is going to be a very, very crazy restart, to say the least. I'm actually really interested to see how this is going to go. The entire field finally bunched up. Boothie leading, Flavor second, V8 Irons third, Fiend is in fourth, Lucky Do fifth, Chubby sixth, JL Bin seventh, Ocean Lion is in eighth, Stone Shuffle in ninth, Constant Jet 10th, Pingu is 11th, Davey Wart 12th, AKB is 13th, Collie Boy 14th, exits the spot 15th. Everyone except for the front two cars are on fresh tires. This will be a very interesting restart. How much does Boothie elect to back the entire grid up coming to the green flag? We saw when Irons was leading the field earlier, he kept the field very densely stacked until he elected to go coming out of the final corner.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting restart here with obviously the differences of tyres, etc. So here we go then. Is Boothie going to back everyone up until the line? Collie Boy gets a 3-second time penalty on the safety car. Don't really know how you do that. But away we go here, and actually Cabellin, the person that I really wanted to get a good start, has not got a good start, but neither has the rest of the field behind him. And now Chubby going into turn one. We're going to have a lot of contact.
Just ran into Boothie! There's contact all over in the front!
And now, they're going to go too wide into the S's. Who's going to, the Alpha Tauri.
There's contact, and Flavor hard into the wall! A massive accident!
Yeah,
Lucky Do now up in the fourth. Boothie holding the lead over Fiend. Irons has lost the position of Fiend, and Lucky Do and Chubby are right there behind.
Yeah, I don't think Flavor's going to be very happy with his teammate Lucky Do there. They're going to go. Lucky Do's going to send it on the inside. He's going to try and break later than V8 Irons, but he doesn't send it. And now this brings Chubby into play. Chubby is quiet, and now Jabellin is in front now. Everyone is basically 3 tenths separated between each other. So we could see a good dive bomb from one of them. No, none of them. And there's a yellow flag. I thought that was Fiend, but it's Constant Jet. Oh, no, but Fiend does spin. He gets spun around by Boothie. And, and Boothie goes wide now to let his teammate by, but he's going to let Lucky Do by as well. As they're going to go side by side. Who's going to... And Boothie loses that position as well. And now he's going to be under threat by Chubby going onto the pit straight here. What's going to happen? Is he going to overtake him? We're going to go around the final corner. Is he going to get a good exit? I'm going to go around and board him. He's going to pull out to the outside. Is he going to get the job done into turn one? No, this is a tricky corner to get right when you're going too wide. And he gets the job. No, they're still fighting with each other. And now Chubby is ahead. Wow.
JL Bin has not been able to make up any positions outside of capitalizing on other people's misfortune, but he is in fifth, and the car ahead is on worn and worse tires than he is.
Yeah, he's on the hard, and Jabellin is on the softest compound that is available this race weekend, and obviously he's on much newer tires, so he should be able to breeze past him pretty easily. But I do genuinely think that there is going to be a penalty coming for Boothie, as he did sideswipe Fiend, unfortunately, and Fiend drops all the way down from 2nd to 13th.
Alright, JL Bin now has the move on Boothie going down the back straightaway. It's a pure drag race, but looks like it will go in favor of the Haas of JL Bin without too much issue.
Yeah, broke later, moved to the inside earlier and covered it off, so yeah, great move there from Jabellin. And now Boothie gets another time penalty, and now Jabellin could be in for a podium. Chubby has 9 seconds of time penalties, but we've got to look out for Stone Shuffle. He has 0 time penalties.
Other one to take note of is that Lucky Do has not yet earned any time penalties either, and he is still within DRS range of Irons, so once DRS finally kicks in, he might be able to fight for this win still.
Yeah, Lucky Do, he's just dropping back a little, but I'm guessing that is just because of VRS management, etc, etc. So yeah, Jabellin looking really good to get a decent haul of points here today. Boothie falling off now as his tyres are considerably slower to the people that are around him, and we got to look out for Stone Truffle, because I feel like Stone Truffle is going to be a outsider that is going to benefit from everyone else's time penalties.
Coming back from an accident on lap 1 and an accident in Q3, he might still be able to walk out here with a decent hunk of points today, but he has to deal with Boothie ahead of him and AKB behind him. Now Stone Shuffle looks to the inside, thinks better of it, holds on for the moment. Faster down the straightaway, but AKB is there as well, and AKB also has DRS. They're 3 wide going down the back straightaway right now. McLaren on the inside isn't able to keep up. Stone Shuffle will defend against AKB and will move up into 5th position now. Now AKB comes around the outside, and he still holds it on the outside. He will complete the overtake on Stone Shuffle. Shuffle has to worry about Boothie, Ocean Line, and X hits the spot behind him.
Alright, so now going into, you know the corner's better than me, but, oh, and there's a yellow flag, and that is...
Constant Jet again.
Constant Jet. Sorry, excuse me, I have a cold. Boothie actually lost traction in the last corner. X marks the spot, is going to get past Ocean Lion. 2 Williams drivers second places there. Stone Shuffle is on the back of AKB. And unfortunately, I know Javelin has got 6 seconds now of penalties, not 3. So this could play in the favour of Stone Truffle for maybe 4th place, even a podium.
Right now, it's looking like Stone Shuffle would end up filtering his way into the podium positions, and Lucky Do continues to stay within DRS range of irons. Lucky Do, despite being a very aggressive driver today, has not earned any time penalties whatsoever. Irons has 3 seconds worth. Down the back straightaway, the AlphaTauri opens up the DRS. He's leaning into the DRS. Will he make a move at the end of the straight? He looks, but thinks better of it. Causes yet another instant in 18.
And Boothie spun as well, so... that is not going to be good for the one. Aston Martin is in the lead. The other one is now down in 13th.
Shelby has caught Lucky Do once more, and there's been a spin. That's Collie Boy back there. He has spun on the end of the back straightaway as well. That will drop him down to 13th. Lucky Do is now losing touch with irons, and Shelby Spark has caught the AlphaTauri Honda. Shelby is trying to do whatever he can to stay ahead of Stone Shuffle, stay ahead of as many people as possible so he can maintain a good points haul today. Now Irons is starting to run away from Lucky as Lucky has to start putting his focus on defense. Farther back, JL Ben has cleared Stone Shuffle by a massive margin. He can start focusing on the drivers ahead. Fiend overtakes Dave Ewart at the end of the main straightaway now, and he'll move back into the points-paying positions. Now onto the back straightaway once again for our top 3 drivers. Iron, Lucky Dude, Chubby. JL Ben is closing in slowly but surely on this battle, but I don't think he'll be able to directly influence anything. Lucky Dude has DRS, but is not able to keep up. He is actually losing ground to the Aston Martin down the straightaway. Ocean Lion has 12 seconds of time penalties. He's currently hanging out in 9th position, but that would drop him easily out of the points-paying spots. Right now, Lucky Do, Constant Jet, and Stone Shuffle are the only drivers to not have time penalties right now. I think this entire race is just going to be decided by who has fewer time penalties more than actual running position on the racetrack. Lucky Do has lost touch with V8 Irons again. Shelby is there in striking distance of Lucky Do. Stone Shuffle has just set the fastest lap back there in 5th. Ocean Lion and Boothie are both coming into the pits to repair damage, and they'll likely put on new soft tires to try and go for fastest lap point. Only downside is that right now they are both out of the points paying positions as it stands. Lucky no longer able to keep pace with V8 irons. Shelby is right there behind the AlphaTauri. He might be able to overtake Lucky going down the back straightaway here. Ferrari takes the inside line and will easily complete the overtake with DRS assist. Shelby up into second position, but he's still trying to outrun time penalties more than anything else here.
And exits the spot has got past Stone Shuffle. So this fighting is actually going to help Jabelend keep his 4th place.
For Lucky Do, he just needs to stay within 3 seconds of V8 irons. Right now, he is about 1.9. Make that 2 seconds out from irons. He cannot afford to lose any more time. He needs to get back up to irons if he wants a chance to snipe the win away from him. X hits the spot has now just set the fastest lap in the Williams.
So that means that X hits the spot is going to be on the charge to try and get the Haas, and Stone Shuffle has fallen back, so we could see the Haas on the podium.
Shelby Spark, another time penalty.
Oh yeah,
it's
as he
all
goes
gone
wide, he's
bad
gone wide,
for
he's
Shelby.
gone wide. And Lucky Doe's going to try and get past him. He's got past him off the track. And Chubby's got past him again, and he's gonna wait for the DRS straight.
But all this fighting basically means that Stone Shuffle is guaranteed to bring home more points than Shelby, and along with that, Lucky may be squeezed out of fighting for the race win. He needs to get by Shelby and immediately close in on irons. Will Shelby let that happen though? Lucky Do, 2.7 seconds out from V8 irons, but still trying to wage a defensive war on Shelby, and he can't really focus forward. He is still within a quarter of a second necessary to take the win from irons on penalty countback, but there's 2 laps to go as irons is crossing the line. No, it's over. Lucky Do, time penalty, and that means that it's irons' race to lose now. Constant Jet now earns a time penalty, so everyone except Stone Shuffle has a time penalty. Shuffle is hanging out in 6th. He's going to gain several positions. I think he could finish 4th or even 3rd by race end. This will be amazing for his championship run. Looking at time penalties, Stone Shuffle will overtake exit spot, Jay Elbin, and Shuppy. So, yeah, it looks like, to me, Stone Shuffle is going to walk out here with a podium, assuming nothing goes wrong on his end. Everyone behind Stone Shuffle has anywhere from 6 to 12 seconds worth of penalties as well, so he's not going to get leapfrogged from behind, even if he did get a time penalty right now. Jay Elbin has caught Shelby Spark, and Shelby is still trying to fight with Lucky Do. Lucky is actually closing the gap on irons, but it doesn't matter because they are now matched on time penalties. Second, third, and fourth still all on top of each other. Irons is losing pace, and losing pace significantly now. But he still has 2 seconds ahead of Lucky Do at the white flag.
Yeah, I think Irons will just be wanting to bring it home, really. Obviously, he's got 3 seconds. He doesn't want to push it to get 6 seconds, so then he loses the win. So I think he'll just be wanting to bring it home, but obviously not be so slow that he loses the win, which he actually seems to be slowing down quite a bit. So Yeah, we could have the last lap battle in our hands. Insane.
Lucky has just closed up by about half a second in Sector 1 alone, but there's only 2 sectors left and still another second and a half in Iron's favor. Now the gap is down to 1.5 seconds coming out of the hairpin, but Lucky Dude doesn't have DRS. The 2 drivers behind, Shelby and Jay Elvin, does. No move made by the Ferrari. He could not get there close enough. So it looks like the spots in the top 3 positions are locked in. Shelby is going to get dropped down to about 6th or maybe even 7th position just due to the number of time penalties he's occurred in the race.
And now,
at the front, Irons has been involved in some controversy this season, but he shrugs it all off, and he may have missed the pole, but when it comes down to it, he will take home the victory here. He backs off a little bit, but will cross the line with a victory. Lucky Dude will come home 2nd, and 3rd will be Stone Shuffle. 4th will be Exits the Spot. 5th will be J. Albin. 6th will be Chubby. 7th will be Fiend. AKB has crashed out there in the final corner, so this means that Pingu will be able to snipe him for the 8th position, and Dave Ewart will get 9th. Ocean Lion, despite everything, might still be able to come home with points in 10th. Indeed he does. So for V8 Irons, a very outstanding victory, waged a long-standing war with Fiend all day long, and when it went bad for Fiend, Irons capitalized and took home another victory for the for the Aston Martin camp. So a very, very interesting and impressive race, to say the least. All right, coming in the party right now is your race winner, V8 Irons. Irons, please make sure your audio is included. Outstanding victory with a hard-fought battle pretty much all day from start to finish. What do you have to say about that win?
Yeah, it was really hard to be honest. I'm absolutely sweating. It was a good fight with me and Fiend in the beginning. They had him and Boofy had contact in it, so then it took Fiend at the objective. All I had to do was just keep, the other 2 behind me. Lucky's an amazing driver, really pushed me. So was Chubby as well. I was really lucky to be honest. Lucky got a 3-second penalty, 2 laps to go. As soon as that happened, I was absolutely chuffed. I just released the throw a couple of times. Really, as I didn't want to get. Cause I had one more away from the pin, so yeah, I'm really chuffed about it. I'm not a fan of USA, so I'm more chuffed.
All right, it was an absolutely outstanding drive today. This will also help your team significantly in the manufacturer's points as you came home first. And although Boothie was not able to score points, your Ferrari rival only was able to come home with a 6th place finish in the end. So great job in today. And this will also probably launch you into a very solid hold on the 4th place position in driver's points as well.
Yeah, mate, it's looking good. I said before I wanted the race, I just wanted to get over 100 points, and I'll be happy with that. So, yeah, it's looking good for the rest of the season.
All right, congratulations. One last question. Do you think you can repeat this sort of feat at Mexico next week?
I don't know, we'll have to wait and see what my practice is like.
All right, well, we'll be looking forward to seeing what you can do there. Great drive, Irons. And I'm really, really excited to say that was a well-earned and hard-fought victory. And now I want to go ahead and turn focus to our 3rd place finisher, Stone Shuffle. Shuffle, big accident in qualifying, and then an accident in lap 1, turn 1 at the start of the race. And you've come back to finish 3rd. Walk us through the day from your perspective. A few positions indeed. You basically ended the race on podium, and again, for what feels like the 6th or 7th race in a row, I'm saying you're walking out of here smelling like roses compared to your championship rivals. You've not taken the points lead yet, but you've massively closed down, and you will have overtaken Shelby for second in the standings as well.
Same here.
All right, well, so you're saying that you don't think you can replicate this at Mexico? All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I can understand what you're saying. Well, I'll be interested to see what you do anyway. But still, a very hard-earned third-place position if you end up walking out of the season with the championship. I would say that the drive you put in today was the epitome of that sort of champion's drive. All right. Well, that will pretty much wrap up our broadcast here from Circuit of the Americas. Azza, I'm going to be honest, that honestly was a very, very good race. Normally, here at Koto, the field gets really spread out. And while there is the consistency that time penalties decide a lot of stuff, there was a lot of on-track racing this weekend compared to prior years and prior games at this circuit. Oh, Azza's not hearing it right now. Okay, shoot. Well, in that case, there's not really anything else for us to say here in the broadcasting booth. I've been your host for today's race, Insane Layer 13. I've also been joined by XRL Azda for most of the broadcast today. In a week's time, you can catch the X3 race at Mexico, but in about an hour on the main channel will be the last XRL event of the weekend, X2 at Circuit of the Americas. Until then, farewell and have a good day.